Purana. 1. To blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their life for propagating the holy name of the Lord. 2. To consider the name of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal or to be independent of the name of Lord Vishnu. 3. To disobey the order of the spiritual master. 4. To blaspheme the Vedic scriptures or scriptures in pursuance to the Vedic version. 5. To consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination. 6. To give some interpretation to the holy name of the Lord. 7. To commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. 8. To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in Vedas as fruitive activity karma kanda. 9. To instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. 10. To not have a complete faith in chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachment even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to achieve the desired success of Krishna Prema. Once again, I thank everyone for joining today's Srimad Bhagavatam class and Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. May I know who all joined this morning?
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharika Mataji, Danvat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai, Priti Dasi Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Priti Mataji, Dhanavad Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your recitation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Danvat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Arvind Das from Chicago. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Arvindaksha Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for joining every day and giving your recitation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Mataji. All glories to the assembled devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Guru Maharaj. This is Aditi Devi Dasi from Canada. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Aditi Mataji, Dhanavad Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your recitation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to the assembled devotees on the call. This is Anita from Sharjah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Anita Mataji, Dhanavad Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your recitation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Go ahead. Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to all the assembled devotees. This is Sushmita from Canada.
Hare Krishna, Sushmita Mataji, Dhanavad Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Nice to hear your name every day, Mataji. Thank you so much for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharika Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumar Devi Dasi from Nana.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Kumari Mataji, Dhanavad Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your recitation every day, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dhanavad Pranam, all glories to Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj, all glories to assembled devotees. This is Mohini Lakshmi from Detroit.
Hare Krishna, Mohini Lakshmi Mataji, Dhanavad Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining every day and giving your sweet association. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Go ahead, Mataji.
Mataji, you go ahead.
That's okay. Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Gauranga and all assembled devotees. Yashamati from Chicago.
Hare Krishna, Yashimati Mataji, Dhanavad Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your recitation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves?
Hare Krishna, Vinita Mataji, Dandavat Pranam to you and all Vaishnava Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Vrinda Gopika Mataji, Dhanavad Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your recitation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Mataji. This is Pooja Arora from Haridwar. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Dandavat Pranam, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Pooja Mataji, Dhanavad Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining every day and giving your association. Very nice to hear your name, Mataji, every day. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. My humble pranams to you and all glories to Srila Prabhupada and all glories to the assembled devotees on the call. Thank you so much for the beautiful opportunity presented to all of us to help us kind of, make some progress on this platform, Krishna consciousness. I'm really, really grateful to all of you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vanisri Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for your encouraging words for all of us, because it encourages everyone to join the call with your sweet words. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much for your sweet association. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Vinita Mataji and the assembled devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Guru and Gauranga. This is Induleka Premai from Toronto. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Induleka Premamai Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining every day and chanting so beautifully. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, all glories to Prabhupada and Gurudev and all glories to the assembled devotees. This is Hari Radha from Fairfax, Virginia. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Shri Hari Radha Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your restoration. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada, Krishna Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Shama Gauri Devi Dasi from Charlotte.
Hare Krishna, Shama Gauri Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your restoration. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam to you and all the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Shri Guru and Gauranga. This is Raj from Canada.
Hare Krishna, Raj Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for your all the services. And thank you for joining in every day and chanting so beautifully. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So we will start. It is 6:20. So we will start the recording. But Prabhuji is not yet in the call till now. Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. Today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Kamal Lochan Prabhu to enlighten us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam 5th canto, 26th chapter, verse 19 and 20. Before I hand over the call to Prabhuji, I request Aditi Mataji to give a brief introduction.
Hare Krishna all. Please accept my humble obeisances. This is a brief introduction for His Grace Kamal Lochan Prabhu. Kamal Lochan Prabhu was born in Mysore in Madhya Brahmin family in 1973. Brought up in Andhra Pradesh in a very orthodox family where he developed a natural taste for inquiry into the mysterious of God creation. Passed out of Marine Engineering Research Institute, Calcutta in 1994. It is there in the college as a cadet, he came in touch with the devotees of International Society for Krishna Consciousness. He found that all the unanswered questions were completely satisfied in the books of Srila Prabhupada. Still as an engineer student, he studied Bhagavad Gita 5 times and mastered the Gaudiya Vaishnava Abandit philosophy in a short period of 2 years and was initiated into the Brahma Madhav Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya by His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. He joined the Merchant Navy as an engineer officer and worked for 3 years. During this time, he felt the urge to teach the message of Gita to children and youth who were misguided by the consumerization. So he gave up his lucrative job and joined ISKCON Mira Road, where he was promoted as the vice president of ISKCON Mira Road within a year, and is currently the co-president of ISKCON Mira Road. He is also a visiting professor in MS University for Management and Social Work faculties, and also conducts seminars on personality development topics in educational and corporate sectors. His only concern is that the children and youth should understand the moral and spiritual values as enunciated in Srimad Bhagavatam Gita. His life is dedicated to teaching children and youth. Hare Krishna. Over to you, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Aditi Mataji. Thank you so much for that brief introduction. And Prabhuji is already on the call. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for joining and giving your valuable time and association this morning. I hand over the call to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayet Ashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtikim. Reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 26, text number 19 and 20. So it is Gadya, so I will not be reciting the verses. Just go to the word-to-word meaning. Yaha, any person who, tu, but, iha, in this life, why, indeed, stayena, by theory, balat, by force, va, or, kiranya, gold, ratna, gem, adini, and so on. Brahmanasya, of the Brahmana, va, or, apaharati, steals, anyasya, of others, va, or, anapadi, not in a calamity, purushaha, a person, tam, him, amutra, in the next life, rajan, O king, yamapu, purusha, the agents of Yamaraj, aya, mayehi, made of iron, agni pandaihi, balls heated in fire, sandhamshaihi, with the tongs, swachi, on the king, on the skin, nishkushanti, tears to pieces. Yastviha vaistena baladvai hiranya ratnadini brahmanasya vyapaharatya anyasya vanapadi purushastam amruta rajan amutrajan yamapurushaha ayashnaihi agnipindaihi sandhamshaihi nishkushanti. Translation: My dear king, a person who in the absence of an emergency robs a brahmana or indeed anyone else, or of his gems and gold, is put into a hell known as Sandamsha. There his skin is torn and separated by red hot iron balls and tongs. In this way his entire body is cut into pieces. 20th verse. Yaha, any person who, tu, but, iha, in this life, va, or, aga, agamyam, unsuitable, striyam, a woman, agamyam, unsuitable, va, or, purusham, a man, yoshit, a woman, abhigachati, approaches for sexual intercourse, tau, both of them, amutra, in the next life, kasya, by whips, tadayantaha, beating, tigamya, very hot, shurmya, by image, lohamaya, made of iron, purusham, the man, alingayati, alingayanti, They embrace Striyam, the woman, Cha, Purusha Rupaya in the form of man, Shurmya by the image. Yastrihava Agamyam Striyam Agamyam Va Purusham Yoshit Abhigachati Tvat Amutra Kasya Tadasyantas Sigamya Surmya Lohamaya Purusham Alingayati Ganti Striyam Cha Purusharupaya Surmya. A man or woman who indulges in sexual intercourse with an unworthy member of the opposite sex is punished after death by the assistance of Yamaraj in the hell known as Tapta Shurmi. There, such men and women are beaten with whips. Man is forced to embrace a red-hot iron form of a woman, and the woman is forced to embrace a similar form of a man. Such is the punishment for illicit sex. Purport. Generally, a man should not have sexual relations with any woman other than his wife. According to Vedic principles, the wife of another man is considered one's daughter, one's mother, sister, and daughter. If one indulges in sexual relationship with another man's wife, that activity is considered identical with having sex with one's mother. This act is most sinful. The same principle holds for a woman also. If she enjoys sex with a man other than her husband, the act is tantamount to having sexual relationship with her father or son. Illicit sex life is always forbidden, and any man or woman who indulges in it is punished in the manner described in this verse. Om Jnanavirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manavishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamiham Dadati Swam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utabadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya. Shri Upam Sagrajatam Sagara Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam. Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam. Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagalalita Shvishakanitamsya. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate. Gopesh Gopika Kant Radha Kant Namostute. Taptaganchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari. Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriya. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha. Patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. The last chapter of the 5th canto, it is describing about the 28 varieties of hell. And where are these hells placed? They are placed between the Garbhasagara, that means the navel of Mahavishnu, and the 7 planetary systems, the down planetary systems, or in one sense, the planetary systems. The 14 planetary system. That means these 28 varieties of hells, they are not coming under the 14 planetary systems. So when somebody practices dharma, Dharma means according to Vedic principles. When somebody practices Vedika Dharma, then they are promoted to heaven. And there are three places where these heavens are placed. One is known as Bilva Swarga, other is known as Bhauma Swarga, other is known as Divi Swarga. So there are heavenly enjoyment in the lower planetary systems also. And there are so many heavenly enjoyments within the earthly planetary system also. So in the Bhumandala, there are now one of the planets where in the Bhumandala we are staying. It is Bhugola. So, but within the Bhumandala, there are many planets. They are known as Bhuswarga, means Bhuvi Swarga. In the earthly planetary system, that is Mandala, we have so many different lokas where we have a heavenly enjoyment, but they are not heaven actually. But they are known as heaven because they give heavenly enjoyment, and still they are placed in the earthly planetary system, so they are known as Bhu Swarga. And of course, heaven is there, that is Bhu Bhuva Swara. From the top seven, if you count from below, first Bhuvar and then Swara. Atala, Vitala, Talatala, Rasatala, Mahatala, Patala. These are the down. Up planetary system is Bhur, Bhuva, Swara, Janan, Mahatapa, Satya. So from, if you see from the earth, go above, you have Bhuvar Loka and then Swara Loka. And that is called Swarga. So after describing about Dharma, now question comes about what is the destination of the people who are doing adharma? So somebody has sattva-guna, dharma, in sattva-guna dharma arises. And because of that, they relish some kind of happiness. In Rajaguna, there is dharma and adharma mixture. So they attain happiness, both mixed happiness and distress. So when the people have faith in tamoguna, then only adharma is there and there is complete distress. In the same way, happiness and distress are mixed. So there are so many different varieties of enjoyment and suffering constantly going on, because we cannot say that everybody is always in sattva-guna, or somebody is always in rajaguna, or somebody is always in tamaguna. Because the modes of nature, actions of the modes of nature, different states. There is a great combination of all these things. What happens is when somebody performs adharma, so the suffering is in hell. Now we should know that everybody who have done adharma don't go to hell. If the adharma which has been performed to such a degree that the punishment cannot be given in earthly planet, they only go to hell. Now these different degrees of adharma are also described. Adharma means not following the varnashrama dharma is adharma. Because the whole world is divided according to varna and ashrama. And there are certain responsibilities for different varnas and different ashramas. So giving up one's duties according to one's varna and ashrama and indulging in some activities which are whimsical, that is known as adharma. Now this adharma or irreligion is in 3 degrees. How? When somebody performs adharma due to some inattention, means unconsciously or forgot by mistake. So there the result is not so horrible. The tamas is not very much. Suppose somebody performs in knowledge. He knows, but still he does tamasic activity. So then in sinful activity, then the tamas is more. But by performing sin, by rejecting God, complete rejection of God, no concept of dharma and adharma, just go on indulging in sin, that is the most horrible. Now, what happens is, because of these three different kinds of different levels of tamas, ignorance, that sinful activity is performed. So, the destination of these people, especially the hell, is because of the third kind. Of course, there are some cases in the first kind also goes to hell, but complete rejection of God, complete rejection of what is dharma and adharma, doing something whimsical, that is a destination. The hell is a destination for such people. Otherwise, most of the hellish symptoms are found in this earth also. They'll experience here only. Like not every pious person goes to heaven. He'll enjoy, but in this world only. So in this way, there is a description of hell, because the fifth canto, the subject matter is sthanam. Sthanam means what? Sthanam, Vaikunta Vijayaha, Atra Sargo, Visargascha. Sarga is third canto, Visarga is fourth canto. Atra Sargo, Visargascha, Sthanam, fifth canto. Sthanam, Poshanam, Tadanugrahat, sixth canto is Poshanam. So, of course, all the subject matters are found in all the cantos of Bhagavatam. But still, this one subject matter, that is Sthanam, is very much described in the fifth canto of Bhagavatam. Sitir Vaikunta Vijayaha. Sthanam is also called Siti. Sitir Vaikunta Vijayaha. How the Lord, though he is not seen in this world, still he has absolute control of everybody's actions and reactions, the karma phala pradata. And according to one's actions, reactions come. And nobody can escape these reactions. One cannot say that, okay, I didn't say I did sin, but nobody saw. No, the Lord is seeing. Everybody is there as Paramatma in everybody's heart. He knows what's happening around, what you're thinking, what you're doing, and what you're speaking. Everything is monitored by Krishna. He is there as Paramatma. In this way, is Abhigna. Abhignaha. Abhigna Swarat. He is Abhigna and Swarat. He is totally Swarat. Swarat means totally independent. Because he is Abhigna, he knows everything. Nobody can escape the eyes of Krishna. Somebody may say, oh, I did this false, nobody could catch me. Okay, the police did not catch you because they are not Abhigna. But Krishna had caught you already. And Krishna, he set a system of action and reaction. Karmana daiva netrena. Nobody can actually escape this karma, action, reaction. So Krishna creates a separate place, a sthana, for such people who perform some sins which are very heinous. And there he shows his mercy unto them. He shows mercy. How? By giving the amount of suffering what is required by the jiva for the sins he have performed, so that he can come back to human life. Gradual process, of course. Of course, there is a philosophy of saying that how the Lord just denounces the soul in the Bhagavad Gita, where he says, "Janmani, Janmani." In life after life, I'll thrash them to lower species of life. But at the same time, the whole purpose of this hell is that all the difficulties which they are experiencing in the hell is just to nullify sinful reactions they have done. Now, Sukadeva Goswami says that some say there are 21 hellish planets. And then I'll try to describe the names of these planets. And he goes on saying that not 21, there are 28 of them. And he goes on giving the list. Tamishra, Anda Tamishra, Raurava, Maharurava, Umbipaka, Kala Sutra, Asit Patra Vana, Shukaram Mukha, Andhakupa, Timi Bhojana, Sandamsha, Taptashurmi, Raja Kantaka, Shalimila, Vaitarni, Puyoda, Prana Bodha, Vishasana, Lalavaksha, Sara Meyadhana, Avichi, Aikyapana, Sharakundama, Rakshogana Bhojana, Rakshogana Bhojana, Shula Prota, Dandashuka, Avadanirodhana, Paryavartana, Suchimuka, Chimuka. So in this way, these hell's names are there, like Krishna's names. One may say, hey, why is this description is there about hells? 28 kinds of hells have been described. And each hell is designed for a particular sin which a person has performed. And just if you see all the list of 28 hells, you'll be shocked, you'll be completely amazed. Seeing that, is it so? Then already we are seeing hell. Because so many sins a person has performed in this life and the previous life. All these sinful activities. If you see the list of all the sinful activities or what sin, what hell is going to be attained, you'll be shocked. And the kind of punishments a person is going to attain because of performing such sinful activities. Now, different kinds of hells have been described till now, and we are arrived till the 19th shloka. Now here, what is being spoken is about a rob, especially robbing a Brahmana or anyone else. That is the subject here. Means anybody. Steyena balad va hiranyaratnadini brahmanasya vapyarhata anyasya. Brahmanasya anyasya. So robbing a Brahmana is the most sinful thing. And especially not only Brahmana, anybody else also. But still robbing a Brahmana is considered to be the topmost kind of sin. Now here, what are the things? Ratna and Hiranya. Ratnadini, Hiranya Ratnadini. Sandhamsha. Sandamsha. You go to the hell known as Sandamsha. So there, what the Yamaraj servants do? Agnipindaihi, sandamshaihi, tvachaihi, nishpushanti. So they take iron rod, hard iron rod, and then they start peeling the skin with the lump of flesh. Oh. Third-degree torture. The torture like anything. Just hearing this, you become so much afraid of performing this sin. But somehow it so happens that it doesn't last long. Fear cannot rectify a person. We have all seen in a childhood also, or mothers are there in this group. They know you have a son in childhood, what you have done. He does some mischief. You beat him and create fear in him. He'll become a very good boy. How long? Maximum 2 hours or 4 hours. Again, he starts doing the same mischief. That is the state of the conditioned soul. You make them hear about hell. You even take them to hell, make them experience hell. Change of heart is not there. Kuttega puj. You hold the tail of a dog, it be straight because it's always curved. You hold it, as long as you hold it, it'll be straight. Otherwise, immediately it becomes the same. The same way, the sinning mentality of the conditioned soul is so strong that even though you may make the person hear about these fearful conditions of hell, he will not stop in sin. He may have the fear, but still that fear is not enough. That fear is not enough to make the person stop sinning. Once Srila Prabhupada had a discussion with the police commissioner of New York crime branch. So then he asked Swamiji, why people do commit crime? Because Prabhupada said they want to suffer. The police commissioner told, no, Swamiji, they don't want to suffer. They don't want to suffer. But still they commit crime. Then Prabhupada said, if they don't want to suffer, why they commit crime? They know by doing this thing, by doing this sinful activity, I'm going to suffer, but still they do the crime. Why? What is the reason? Because they want to suffer. And the police commissioner said, Swamiji, that you know better about crime than me. Anyhow, the whole point is about that how fear cannot stop a person from sinning. How many people? I was speaking to once to a police officer because we went to a preaching program in jail many years back it was. We gave Bhagavad Gita to everyone, and then we also did some kirtan, distributed prasad, gave a small class. And after that, I was just speaking to the police officer who is in charge of the jail superintendent. He told me that 70% of the people who are in the jail are repeat cases. He told me, Swamiji, ab wo sudhrenge nahi kabhi. Aap acha kaam kar rahe ho. You are doing good job. Aap Bhagavad Gita for sudharne ke liye, you want to rectify them. That is why you come and doing a good job. We appreciate. I really appreciate. But from my experience, he told, that is from his experience, he told that they will not change. Of course, he was not knowing the transcendental influence, Bhagavad Gita, Prasadam, Kirtan can happen. He was thinking that punishment will change a person, and his experience is punishment don't change a person. In spite of all the punishment, he says that people go and come back again to the jail. They suffer. We beat them. We make them work, toil like anything. Rigorous punishment. 6 years rigorous punishment. You find after 6 months again, he does the same crime and come back. Yes, 70% of those who are in the rigorous punishment in the jails, they go and never crime and come back again. Practically, they are sometimes in the jail, they are made to work because of the being disciplined. They're given some mercy, and their 6 years punishment will be over in 3 years only. They go again to commit crime and come back to the same jail. Why? Why they are after giving punishment, there is no change of heart? That is the question. That is how the 6th canto starts. The whole purpose of having the 6th canto, which is Poshanam Tadanugrahat. 6th canto, subject matter is Poshana. Poshana means Poshanam Tadanugrahat. Anugraha. Mercy of Krishna. So Krishna shows mercy in 2 ways. Material mercy, spiritual mercy. The material mercy is what is described in the 5th canto of Bhagavatam. Sthanam. According to one's karma, Krishna is Sthanam. You have a house, it is not because of anything, it's because Krishna gave you a house. You have food to eat today because Krishna gave you, not because you worked hard and you earned money and all. No, no, no. There are so many people who have worked hard, but they don't even have food to eat. So, all this is because of Anugraha, Krishna Anugraha, material Anugraha. Even though it is in your karma, ultimately, who is your karma phala pradata? Krishna is the karma phala pradata. Whether good, bad, ugly, whatever we get is according to Krishna. Krishna is karma phala pradata. So this is called sthanam, material mercy of Krishna. But Poshana is the spiritual mercy of Krishna. He protects his devotees, not to fall down from the position of Krishna consciousness. All kinds of devotees, Tasura, Indra, Ajamila. So the whole of the 6th canto is just focused on one thing. That is, it is the spiritual mercy of Krishna which is going to deliver us, not the material mercy of Krishna. So that is why one should seek out for the spiritual mercy of Krishna. Spiritual mercy of Krishna is in the form of devotion, bhakti. So until unless one takes up bhakti, there cannot be any change of heart. One pious person practicing all the varnashrama dharma very nicely. He has controlled his senses. He just was perfect grahastha, did charity. Pancha, Maha, Yagyas he has done. All these things he has done. He has even taken sannyas. And he has practiced sannyas dharma very nicely. Only to go to heaven. What will he do in heaven? Enjoy with all the heavenly ladies. Because the rules of varnashrama doesn't apply in heaven. In heaven, there's only one rule. Enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. So just imagine, practice of dharma will take you to a place where you can practice adharma at the same time. You cannot be caught for adharma because there is no dharma there. That is why dharma is also adharma. Because dharma is the purpose of dharma is to go to a place where there is no dharma. Heaven. In heaven, there is no dharma. There is no distinction between your wife and my wife. Your husband and my husband. No, no, no. Just crazy place. A total crazy place. If I had to describe to you about heaven, there is a story in the Puranas. Of course, you know the story. I must have told the story before also. A very famous story. Once there was an old man who had even leprosy. But he had a very young, beautiful, chaste wife. But this old man, leprosy, he cannot even stand up. cannot even walk. Old, very old. He had a desire to associate with the prostitute, and he told the wife, I want to associate with the prostitute, take me to her. Just imagine what kind of person is he. He is telling his wife, chaste wife, and wife, because it's her duty to fulfill the desire of the husband, she went, took her husband in a tokery, in a basket, and she was carrying. When she was carrying him, on the way there was a rishi who noticed and understood what's happening, and he cursed that before the sunrise, this husband of yours will die so that you'll be happy. Because he's troubling you like this. She was a pativrata. How can she allow husband to die before her? So she told him, like, Rishi, you are given a curse, but I cannot curse you, or a Rishi. But by cause of her pativrata shakti, the pativrata dharma, she has practiced and she got such a power, she cursed the Surya. The sun will not rise only. The sun stopped. The moment the sun stopped, you know, the chariot driver of our sun is Aruna, brother of Garuda. He's very tejasvi. He thought, I got a small break. 24 hours I'm driving this chariot. I don't have a break. I got a small break. He told Surya, let me go and come by the time he fixes the problem. So Surya, he gave permission and Aruna went. He was heard a lot about Indra and the way of enjoyment which Indra does in Amaravati. He went there. So somebody stopped him. The gatekeeper told him, you cannot enter. He thought how to enter. So he became she. He became Aruni. So when he became Aruni, as a beautiful effulgent, just imagine, along with sun god, how much effulgent Aruna should be. And now he became Aruni, that effulgent, beautiful girl. She entered and nobody stopped her. And in the entire Sabha of Indra could notice as another beautiful girl has come and she's very effulgent, more effulgent than Ramba or anybody. Immediately he became very intoxicated with lust and she just went, caught hold of her hand and then took her inside. And she started saying, no, I'm not she, I'm he. And Indra told, forget about all these things. Indra, he just impregnated Aruni. Then Aruni came out and delivered a baby, that Indra's son, and he became, Indra's son is none other than Vali. So now here we have, he was very frustrated, again took the form of Aruna and went to sun god. By the time all the demigods, they convinced her and somehow the sun got the permission to move ahead. Aruna came and then sat, he told, and he asked, Surya asked, where did you go? He told, don't ask me, where did I go? Sun told, I am your boss, you tell me, where did you go? So he told the entire story. The Surya became very much impressed and he told, I want to see the same beautiful form of yours as Aruni. He told, no way. Then he told, I am ordering you should show. Then Aruna again became Aruni. Surya became so much lust, immediately impregnated Aruni and then begot a son called Sugriva. That is how Vali and Sugriva are born. So now you may say, why didn't I tell this story? The Puranas say, if anybody remembers this story, they'll spit at heaven. You'd not like to go, you'll become disgusted to go to heavenly planets. So because of such kind of people say, so you follow dharma to go to a place, such a horrible place, even that kind of things don't even happen in the most sinful people, among most sinful people in this world. So that kind of thing happens in even heaven. So in this way, whether dharma or adharma is all same. Yei bhalo, yei manda, yei sab brahma. The only one thing which is perfection in this world is devotion, bhakti. So you may be wondering why these descriptions of hell is given in this particular chapter. definitely not to instill fear in the heart of the people so that they'll stop sinning, because it's not going to happen. Vyasa knows this. Before meeting Narada, he was not doing this. He thought, if I write something like this, people will become fearful and stop doing adharma and practice dharma. If I say that by practice of dharma, you'll go to heaven and enjoy, practice adharma, you will go to hell and suffer. So people will understand, people will practice dharma. So Vyasa thought like that and wrote the Puranas. Then Narada came and told, my dear Vyasa, you have written the Puranas, you have written the Mahabharata. But there's a problem in that. The problem is this. Though you may have good intentions of bringing people to the path of bhakti and dharma, it is not going to happen, because these people are having so much ignorance that their ignorance is stronger than your intelligence. Dharma krite anushasata swabhava raktasya mahanitikramaha jigupsitam dharma krite anushasata jigupsitam dharma krite anushasata. Very famous verse. First canto, 5th chapter, Bhagavatam. It is not going to happen. Just because you have kept people under fear, do you think they will be practicing dharma because of you creating fear in them? Do you think by giving some lalach of heavenly enjoyment, do you think they'll practice dharma? No, they will not. Swabhava raktasya mahan viriktikramaha. They will act according to swabhava. Somebody is tamasic, they will be acting forcibly according to tamas. Tasya nivaranam jana, even though they may practice some kind of dharma, in that also they will not practice certain nivaranam, certain don'ts. They just may practice for the namesake. So one should not drink alcohol, one should not do illicit sex. They will not do it only for a particular period of time to do some vrata. The whole purpose is to do the same illicit activity with a higher, in a more advanced way. So the purpose is, especially in the Bhagavatam, the purpose of this 5th canto, 26th chapter, is not to instill fear in the people. Even though instill fear is not going to work out. People will not stop practicing dharma, because it's very evident in this world. We have seen people. There is a cigarette packet in which it is written, smoking is injurious to health. Smoking is cancerous. He's having this packet in front of him, but still smoking. Alcohol is injurious to health. It is written there. Bold. The font is also more. The court order came in India that you should have bigger font for this. Yes, no problem. Bigger the font, the more the sales. No problem. They want to try out how it is injurious to health. So the whole purpose of this particular section of Bhagavatam, or 26th chapter Bhagavatam, is not to instill fear, but to show that punishment is not going to change people's heart. Only it is bhakti. Bhakti is the only thing which can change people's heart. And when somebody may ask this question, why the punishments are there in Banu Samhita and the different hells, why this punishment is there? Then if punishment is not going to change the heart. Punishment is there for this only one reason, that is, if there is some punishment given immediately for some sin, at least there is he has nullified the sinful reaction, so that at least he can get a human form of life, so that he can practice bhakti, or opportunity to practice bhakti is there. For that, I'll tell you another story. There's one king known as Manuniti Chola. a South Indian king, Chola king. Chola dynasty ruled this country for more than maybe thousand years. So Chola dynasty, one king was there. And he was ruling so nicely that everybody was so happy about him. But he was not happy because he thought people, there must be some suffering in this world. How can there be something without no suffering? So then he thought people may be afraid to come and come and tell me what kind of suffering they have. So he rang a big bell. He put a big bell in front of his palace. Anybody can ring anytime. The king will personally attend the problem. So even after that, nobody rang any bell. Then he was really upset. Maybe thinking I'm so much fearful. People are not even approaching me. One day, midnight, bell rang. Immediately he went down and saw at least I got something to do as a king. So when he went down, he saw it was a cow ringing the bell. It had tears in her eyes, and then he understood that the cow wants him to follow her. So he went, the cow went, and he also started following the cow. So when he went and started following the cow, then he saw on the middle of the road there was one calf which was dead. Immediately he went and asked those people around who were also assembled there. He took the sword and told, "Tell me who has killed the calf." Nobody had the guts to reply. Everybody put their head down. Then he started shouting and yelling at everyone and say, "If you don't tell who killed the calf, I'm going to kill you. Kill you all." And then a person, he said, the king, "Oh, it happens, children, we had to forgive them." Immediately he took the sword and kept in the neck of this old man and told, "You tell me, who is he who killed the calf?" The person told that it is your son, the only son, the prince. It is he who killed the calf. He was driving the chariot and then chariot ran over the calf. He told it is not his evil intention, but what to do? It happened. This accident happened. Immediately the king ordered his soldiers to bring his son, the only heir of the kingdom, the prince. He asked his soldiers to bring him. They brought him and he ordered them to tie him in the middle of the road with the ropes. He was tied and then made him lie on the road. The king got onto the chariot. He drove the chariot over his own son, killed him. Everybody was shocked. The king went back to the palace. The wife asked, "My dear husband, you're the king. Your son did not kill the calf intentionally. Why are you so cruel? Why are you don't have any affection for your son?" And the king told, "I have affection for my son. That is why I killed him." She was shocked. How do you understand this thing? Then he told that if I would have left my son on the name of compassion, he has not done any big crime. It was done unintentionally. Then, because of he killing the calf, he would go to hell next life. And he would go to hell next life, and then to again get human body, it will take many, many millions of lives, millions of years. If I give this punishment now, he will at least get a human form of life next life, so that he can have an opportunity to progress in spiritual life. And this is how I have affection for my son. That is why I killed him. And from that time, the king's name became Manuniti Chola. These kind of kings were there in this land. So, two things. One is punishment cannot solve the problem. Only bhakti can change the heart of the person. The sinful mentality can only be destroyed by bhakti, kleshagni, shubhadha. And on the other hand, why the atonements are given just so that at least you have a human form of life, you get an opportunity to do bhakti. Now, subject matter of the 19th verse is stealing, and what's going to happen if a person who steals, especially Brahmana's property. So, stayam is very, very dangerous. Don't steal. Be satisfied with what you have. That is very much favorable to bhakti. And another thing is illicit sex. That is the 20th verse. So much rampant, this illicit sex, that people even have no idea what is there, what is kept in store for them for future. Actually, they don't have to go to hell. They'll create a hell even in this life. It's illicit sex. So much pain, emotional pain. People commit suicide because of this thing. So much pain, you just can't even imagine what kind of pain people have. There's a boy or a girl, man or woman. Just some kind of illicit connection that makes a person emotionally so down, so horrible, that they create a hell for themselves before they go to the hell, actually. The emotions, the mind becomes all so disturbed, no sleep, all kinds of symptoms, every time fear, what is going to happen. So, the greatest sin on this planet is this illicit affairs. So rampant, and it's creating havoc in the family structure of the society. Fabric of the society is completely destroyed. So one has to avoid, and there's only one way, that is chant the holy names of Krishna, do Nam Sankirtan, Nagar Sankirtan. That will pour rain of love of God on the consciousness of the people, by which they can give up the sinful mentality. So we stop here. Any questions, please do ask.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for such a wonderful class. So it was very nice to hear from you with all the shlokas which you quoted. So you just told about starting from the planets, the 28 types of hell does not belong to the 14 planetary system, and which is there in the Garbhasagara, which is the navel of Mahavishnu. And then you told how the heavenly enjoyments is there even in the earth planet, but still we are suffering here. So heavenly enjoyments, the enjoyments is not for to enjoy, but still we will suffer. So then the destination of people who are performing adharma, so in the Sattva, Rajo and Tamoguna, which you explained, then the 3 degrees of adharma. Then in Canto 5, it says only about this Tanam, which is the Lord Krishna's mercy, which he gives the this world according to the karma we have performed to get back to him. He gives this earthly planet to get back to him, but still we are not realizing. So, and then in this shloka, it is told about how it is a very simple of robbing a Brahmana, which in which he gets punishment of putting in the hot iron rod. He's tortured with a hot iron rod, so that will so which makes the skin to peel. So it's really to hear itself, it's too much torturing only. So, and then you told about the pastime of Manuniti Chola. So which is the childhood pastime, which I have heard oftentimes when I was in my childhood also. So very nice. And this activity is like the illicit sex, in which we have to give up the mentality of doing the sinful reactions. And one very specific point which you told is the punishment what is that? Fear can't stop from sin. So that was really wonderful, because even you told about Prabhupada talking to the police commissioner. The people always perform sin. They come, they do sin, they come again to the jail, again they do sin, then again they come. So that is what we are also doing. We go to hell, we suffer over there, and again we don't realize, and we again want to enjoy in this material world. So to get out of this, we have to give up our sinful activity. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So much takeaways are there in the class. So, and devotees, the forum is open for question and answers. Please raise your hands and unmute yourselves, or we can unmute. Shukar Krishna Prabhuji, please go ahead.
Yeah. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. A very, very good class. One of the devotees who is staying in US, he has told that he's initiated, but he has committed some illicit sex, and he's repenting. Now he's totally left that and is continuing his activities and his spiritual life. Is there any chance for atonement, and what is to be done to get rid of that without going and getting sufferings? Is there any possibility?
The only atonement for a devotee is to practice more devotion. He should never ever think of doing any atonement as described in the Karma Kanda section of the Vedas. Because if he does that, then it shows his lack of faith in devotion. That is a bigger sin than the sin what he performed. Just increase. So sometimes devotees say, is this a mistake? Give punishment. Then I say, oh, your punishment is you serve the Vaishnavas now. Every day you should come and then to the prasadam hall, take prasadam very nicely, and then all the Vaishnavas, you serve them nicely every day. So why one devotee told me, what is this punishment? It's not punishment. I told, this is punishment. Punishment within Vaishnava communities is to make the person do more devotion. Once in our management meeting, one devotee did something wrong. One devotee, one senior, one management person said, no, we should ask him, not, we should stop giving classes to him. Then everybody said, yes, yes, yes. I had to fight for 2 hours to convince them over this point that we should ask him to give class every day. And I told them, but for him to give class every day means he has to prepare so much. He has to study Bhagavatam so much. Okay. Of course, there is a point that you cannot ask them to be public and all that. That's all fine. But the principle is this. The principle is, if somebody has done something wrong, the only solution for the devotee who's done something wrong is to practice more devotion, more bhakti, more chanting, more hearing, more chanting, more serving. Okay.
Okay, but this devotee is now around 50. He did it some 20 years back. So, but he after that he realized he's doing more devotional service. He's doing more classes. He's taking classes. He's very fixed up. But I will tell him that you have to just continue more and more and give more pleasure for Krishna. That's the only solution. Nothing else.
Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Prahalad Prabhuji, please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mataji. Haribol Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. I was just curious regarding Indra, polluting Ahalya, and who was the progeny after that. Just curious about that.
Oh, it's a very intricate thing. There are different explanations for it. Vaishnava explanation of it is, it was not Indra coming in the form of Gautama. No.
I see.
So that is why both of them repented. This is a wrong story to say that how can Indra even touch Ahalya? That is why her name is Ahalya. Hal means plow.
Right.
Even when you put a plow on the earth and you plow it, there will be a line, there's a scratch on the earth. Ahalya means on whose character, even if you put a plow, there cannot be a single scratch. That's the name, that's her name.
Right.
So it was Gautama. My mind got contaminated. So if you see the Ramayana, in the context of Ramayana, there's nowhere written that Indra came in the form of Gautama. It's all story, made up story. So they repented and then she stayed in the same ashrama in Adrishya. It was not actually curse. She told, just let me wait for Ram's charan. And Gautama, he went to do tapasya because his consciousness got corrupted. He understood that Indra Avesha was there on him. Indra is basically a sense enjoyer, and anybody he haunts, immediately they also become like him. So this is a story. Indra cannot touch Ahalya. It is not Indra touching Ahalya. That's what it is.
I see. Thank you for that explanation, Prabhuji. Haribo.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for that answer. So there is one question in the chat. Pooja Mataji is asking, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, if someone is very much new in Krishna consciousness, so should we encourage the devotee to ahead without interrupting him or her, as the devotee is very new? So if we explain all the rules and regulations in detail, so maybe he or she may leave the devotion as he or she is very new. So should we ask him to only focus on chanting, attending chanting first, as when he will observe the higher taste, lower taste may be automatically destroyed itself. So this is the question, Prabhuji. She is asking somebody who is new in the Krishna conscious, should we tell them about the rules and regulations, or should we say them first about the chanting?
What do you do when you give birth to a baby? You will tell the baby, no, you should study, you should get a job, you do all these things. No. You just feed the baby till the age of 5. The baby does a lot of nakara. Sometimes the baby even cries for no reason, shouts and yells. But you don't do that. You don't tell, don't you. But after 5 to 15, you show a stick. So in the initial days of Krishna consciousness, you have to nurture. As and when you find it is convenient or the person is ready to take up instructions, you instruct. So instructions should not be given to a baby. Do that, sit straight. You can do that? No. Dress properly. Cannot do that to the baby. Still a baby. Just feed milk. Just love. Just feed. Compassion. That's all. So that's how you should nurture. Many a times congregation has this same thing. They say, oh, the initial days you're treating us so nicely, you're giving prasadam to us, you're doing that, you're doing this, you're calling us so many times. We're practically completely captivated by your attention, your this thing. And now it's a totally different swarup of years after you got initiated. People say that. That is what it is. The same thing, mother gave milk, did all these things. Or like months after 5, beating, thrashing, isn't it? So it's the same thing here also.
Okay, yes, so thank you so much, because even children also we cannot force them. When they want, they will come and study. If they are coming new, then we have to teach them step by baby steps only, right? So from there we can.
Hare Krishna Mataji, your voice is breaking. We can't understand what you're speaking.
Okay, Mataji, now it's okay. Is it okay now?
Yeah, now it's okay, Mataji.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much, Prabhuji, for such an answer. For anyone who is new in Krishna conscious, we just have to.
Mata, we can't hear you.
It's breaking again, Mataji.
Vinita, you want to take over?
Yeah. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for that beautiful answer.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna Prabhu, I have a question. May I?
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Go ahead, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Prabhu, you said that out of 9 Varshas, Bharat Varsha is only the Karma Bhumi and rest all are
No, I'm not
Bhusvarga.
talking about, no, I'm not talking about Bharatavarsha. In the Bhumandala.
Okay.
In Bhumandala, and in the Jambu Deepa, Bharatavarsha, Bharatakanda, this Bharatakanda, in the entire, there is only place where you can do karma. Karmani bandhiri manushaloke. Manushaloke is known as Manushaloka. So in this place. Yeah.
Okay. And rest all Varshas are Bhusvarga?
Yeah, they are all within the Bhumandala. They are all Bhumandala.
Prabhu. Then whoever does the pious karma and who are there in Karma Kanda section, will they go to upper planets like Swargaloka or any other lokas and again come back to these Varshas, that Bhusvarga, or from Karma Bhumi directly they go to Bhusvarga?
It all depends on what kind of karma they have done. If they've done, like it is very simple. Like for example, somebody is in some small town in India, he gets a lottery ticket, say he gets some 50 lakh rupees. Then he wants to take his family. Where will he take? He will take to Switzerland. Suppose somebody gets only 5 lakh rupees. He may go to some hill station in India itself. So it all depends on what kind of karma they have. Suppose they have only few thousand rupees, they'll go to a hotel within some small place within the town itself, some theater in the town itself. So it all depends on what kind of karma they have.
Okay. Prabhu, even we devotees, can we go to these Bhusvargas as a part of Nitya Leela of Krishna?
Why you want to go there? Why anybody wants to go there? Krishna
wherever Nitya Leela is going,
Nitya Leela means in the spiritual world. Spiritual world, Nitya Leela happens. Nitya Leela of the Lord. Here, the Lord's pastimes are Prakata, Aprakata. This Prakat Leela happens and Aprakat Leela happens. So, it is not necessary that one has to go to that particular world. But of course, there are some people like Dhruva Maharaj, planet is there, Prahlad is there, they are worshipping the Lord, because the Lord has to be there in every Varsha. So one need not go there. We have to go completely back home, back to Godhead. That's one. Okay, we start.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Prabhu. And I had that doubt. You clarified that we should aim to go back to Godhead.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, am I audible now?
Yeah. Yes, Mataji.
Okay. So Prabhuji, thank you so much for that answer. One more question is there in the chat. So they're asking, one of my friend, it is from Nitya Narashima Prabhuji, he's asking, one of my friend devotee, he is hunted by ghost. In such case, what he need to do? Kindly advise.
That's not we spoken in a public forum, and you can directly contact me. I'll advise.
Okay. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So devotees, any more questions?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Pranam. My question is like in the story of King killed his son. So what will happen to the king? Because son will not go to hell and he will get the birth and he can become a devotee. But what about the king? Because the son did not do it intentionally, but King has killed
Because
his
the king
intention.
has practiced his dharma. He
Mhm.
has kept the state above family. That is a dharma of the king. For him, for a king, state is above family. That's it. Now these days you don't find like that. Family first. No, state first. So you're first a king and then a husband or a wife or a husband or a father or anybody. So this was not practiced. This is what one of the lessons Bhishma teaches. Bhishma was supposed to be the king. He is a qualified king, but he kept family above nation. He told his father, no, I'll sacrifice I'll not get married for keep making you get married. And so because of that, the whole Kuru Vamsha suffered because of this one mistake of Bhishma. Of course, Bhishma teaches us by his mistakes that the Lord's will. In one sense, the villain of Mahabharata is Bhishma, and the greatest devotee in Mahabharata is also Bhishma. And Krishna teaches the greatest devotees. Of course, I don't want to get into Mahabharata, and so many other things will come into the picture. This is a fact.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Wonderful class.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for that very nice answer. And so thank you so much for your time and association. So devotees, if no more questions, let's end our call here.
Hare Krishna.
Wait, okay.
Hare
Yes,
Krishna,
ma'am.
Prabhu. My Dandavat pranams. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhu, here, like, I always get confused with the Bharata Khanda. Is it the whole earth, or is it only the country?
What we see now as Bharatakanda is a three-dimensional aspect of Bharatakanda. There are higher dimensions even within the Bharatakanda.
So is it the earth, entire earth, or is it only the India? That's what I always get confused.
Whole earth, what you find as a whole earth,
Okay.
the entire earth is the three-dimensional aspect of Bharatakanda.
Okay. Yeah. Now I got it.
Okay.
Yeah. So that means all the rivers throughout the earth are pious, like we see, right? Whatever rivers flowing on Bharatakanda. So it's all like all the rivers.
There are some rivers which are not Punya, they are Papa rivers.
Okay.
There are some rivers infected by crocodile. There are different kinds of rivers in the Vedas. There are different kinds of rivers mentioned. And the sinful rivers are affected by crocodile. And Punya Nadi, there is Makara. Makara means the Vahana of Ganga is Makara. And Magar is crocodile. Crocodile look the same, but they're not. So Punya animals stay there in Punya Nadi, and there are some Amazon river and all these things. They are Papa.
Okay, yeah,
Papa
got it,
Nadi.
Prabhu.
There's Punya Vriksha, Papa Vriksha, Punya Pushpa, Papa Vrikshas are there. Okay.
Yeah, yes, Prabhu. Now I got it. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Prabhu. That was a very nice session. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much, Prabhuji, for that wonderful answer. So, Sinful River is taken by the crocodile, and the Punya River is guarded by Ganga. So, very nice, Prabhuji. So wonderful class with so many pastimes and so many shlokas you quoted. So, and the thing is, like, fear can't stop from sin. So, we have to stop our sinful activities. So, that is the one line of this Canto 5, I feel. So, very nice. Thank you, Prabhuji. So we expect your association in future again. So this was such a wonderful class telling about the hellish planets in a nutshell. So and if we hear the sins of the hellish planets, we don't want to suffer also, but still. So that is what you told. Even if we hear, we will want to go there, we will suffer there and come back. So the only atonement is like we have to chant and we have to stop the activities that which is causes sin. So thank you so much. Devotees, let's pay our obeisances to Prabhuji. Vancha kalpatarupatinduke
Pattanam
Pavanebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo
Namo
Namo
Koti
Namaha.
Vaishnav Vrinda ki
Jai.
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 Ki jai.
Jai.
Srimad Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Kamal Lochan Prabhu ji ki jai.
Jai.
Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
so much, devotees,
Hare
for
Krishna.
joining the call. This was such a wonderful session telling about the hellish. The
Thank you,
fifth
Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Prabhuji.
Hare
Dandavat
Krishna,
pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavad
Hare Krishna,
Pranam.
Anita
Thank you
Mataji.
so much for your
Hare
wonderful
Krishna.
Radhe
call.
Radhe Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Thank you
Krishna.
very much. Hare
Radhe
Bol.
Radhe. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Thank you
Gauranga.
everyone for joining today's
Gauranga.
Nityananda.
Gauranga. Nityananda.
Nityananda. Gauranga.
Gauranga.
Nityananda.
Gauranga.
Hare Bol. Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol.
Closing